like bidets are for spontaneous sex people, and I'm past that.
You know how when you were in school and you didn't feel good, you just like raise your hand and you're like, "Can I go to the nurse?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Right.
Nurse. Why did that stop after school? Like, why isn't that in every office building, in every place in America? Like, why?
Nurse?
Yeah, there should be the nurse, and not even just office buildings. Like, Walmart should have one. The grocery store should have one. Like, there should be a nurse everywhere.
If you ever saw an older dude that was missing his finger, you'd be like, "Oh, did you work in Bud?" He's like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" So they would lose their fingers on the machines, man, because they didn't have ocean air with the safety rules and regulations.
One dude who worked there got a fork, like a forklift fork through his leg.
Wow.
You know you're not supposed to ride around with the forks up?
Yeah.
He was riding around with the forks up. He was like standing somewhere, and they backed into him. And he was a heavy marijuana smoker. And if he got injured and failed the piss test, the insurance would just drop you. You were just F.
Yeah, that's what they do. The first thing they do is take your blood.
Hello and welcome to the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's JDub Justin Richardson. And our guest today is the owner of Big Dave's Catering, link in the description of this episode, the one and only Dave Parr. I'll tell you, man, really had a lot of fun with this episode. We went a lot of different places. We talked about a bunch of different stuff. Dave, he's just the best. He's one of my buddies from work, and he's a great chef, and he owns a huge, really good catering, like really big catering business. And it was awesome to learn his story and how the business started, and then get a background, like, you know, more of a background on him as a person and his type of likes and dislikes and different stories. And this episode just went all over the place, and it was really a lot of fun. JDub, what'd you think?
I had a good old time. We talked about things I like. We talked about things you like. It was nice. We're gonna bring nurses back. I'm excited. I think everyone's gonna like it. I think the people are gonna get excited.
But on this episode, we have Dave Parr. He talks about growing up in North Philadelphia. We get on some Philadelphia landmarks. Yep, he grew up in Logan. We get on some North Philadelphia landmarks. We talk about catering. We talk about growing up and his experience in high school and the different athletics he did, and getting into music a little bit with his father and things like that. And then we get into, you know, just living life as it is, every day by day. And I'll tell you, this guy, you're going to love him. Hilarious, fun, a lot of fun. JDub?
Every day is a winding road, you know?
Amen, brother. Speaking of winding roads, this is the Working Perspectives Podcast, and our guest today is the one and only Dave Parr. Enjoy. All right, hello and welcome to the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's JDub Justin Richardson. Like we said on the show today, we have the one and only Dave Parr. He's the owner and proprietor of Big Dave's Catering. We're going to have a link in the description of this episode where you can find all of Dave's stuff online as far as socials, websites, and everything like that. I will say that, right? You know, I know this is getting hot and heavy atop the show, but I don't know, people, for all our listeners that don't know, I'm white. I'm white. It is what it is. I'm white. I didn't choose to be this way. I am this way. But either way, I'm white. And what happened is that I never had what are called collard greens. And Big Dave's Catering did lunch at our office, and my God, I was blown away. Delish and nutrish. But super excited to get this guy on. He's one of my all-time guests. I'll tell you, Justin, we talked about this before on the show, where in an office setting, it's tough to know like who you can actually talk to as a person and who you have to be a robot with. So I you really come to appreciate those guys that are like, dude, this is just a good dude. He's got a jib, and I love the cut of that jib. You know what I mean?
It's my eternal downfall. Is I play my hand too rough sometimes. I drop pair of jacks on somebody, and they're like, "What did you just say?" And I'm like, "Never mind, nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry. No. I have a 2 and a 4, and I appreciate every day that I get to show up here."
Yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way, where it's like either they have to be vetted by someone else that you trust, right?
That's true.
Vetted like, no, this guy's part of the gimmick, right? Or they have to come, they have to say it to you first. You know what I mean? Like they have to talk like an actual person to you first to be like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, we can talk, we can do this thing. You know, so nice, but super excited to have him on the show. He's a really big fan of him. Once I told some people that he's going to be on the show, they're really excited for this episode. So, nonetheless, this is Dave Parr, and we're going to get this thing going. Dave, how are you, man? Thanks for being here.
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you and all the kind words, man. You're a super dude too. Glad we crossed paths. We like to say haberdashery. You're in that same club. You share the same fashion streak.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. No, Dave is, dude, I'll tell you, we've talked about it and I brought it up earlier, but Dave, if there's one guy who knows his way around looking good, it's old DP here, baby. He's always rocking the gator. It's either the gator or see you later. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, always looking good in the gator. But I'm super excited to have Dave on. Dave, we're going to do a little thing now like we call is the disputed questions. So Justin and I, we have some questions that we ask our guests, and either A, you'll agree with me and be correct, or B, you'll agree with Justin and be wrong. So first question I would like to ask you, are you an iPhone or Android?
I would hate to tell you this, but I love to say it, and I'm not going to be one of those guys that sugarcoat it. I'll make the question longer than I have to because once I answer the question, it'll be really short. Android.
Love it. Love it.
Set up. He asked me that. He asked me that 3 days ago. He set that up. He knew what he was doing. He already knew your answer. He was like, "What side you on?"
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually bought me the phone. I was an iPhone, and he actually bought me an Android prior to coming on the show.
Yep. I told him, like, look, here's a Samsung.
He's like, look, Samsung's paying me to get this answer out of me.
Right.
Get Justin out of here.
For the record, I was a Sony at the original. What's the first cell phone you had?
Wow, Nokia.
Nokia? What'd you have, Matt?
Motorola.
I had a Sony Ericsson.
Wow. Dude, I remember
long time ago.
Dude, remember the BlackBerry push gimmick? It was like a screen that you could press in. I remember my one buddy, former guest of the show, friend of the show, Alan Bach, had that, and it was.
I know what you're talking about.
I can tell you the exact time frame it came out. It was when the Eagles made that run to the NFC Championship and lost to the Cardinals because 2000, no, it was 08, 09. And I distinctly remember it because I was watching a video on his, BlackBerry push, and it was the Do It for Dawkins YouTube video. Do we remember this?
I do not.
Remember that video? Oh, dude, if you want your heart to break, I mean, I know we're getting hot and heavy early on, but if you remember 2009, there was like, the season was totally up and down. We had that. We had like the lowest of the low, where McNibby had forgotten that you could tie in the National Football League.
I remember that game
against the Bengals. Yep. So we had the tie against the Bengals, was not good.
I didn't know you couldn't do that.
Yeah. He got buried in the media for that. So we had the tie against the Bengals, no good. Then the next week we played the Ravens and got dirt stomped, right? Then the following week, we were playing on Thanksgiving against the Cardinals and beat them senseless. I was at that game. Incredible game on Thanksgiving. After that, they went on a late run, kind of like Buffalo did this year, a late season run, won it out. Then the last game of the year was the Silver Linings Playbook game where we beat the Cowboys 44-6, I believe. And once we did that, then we were the hottest team going in the playoffs. Right, I believe we knocked off, I want to say the Giants first, and then in the wild card, I believe it was the Giants. Yeah, because I think I remember Trent Cole high stepping into the end zone. It was incredible. So we beat the Giants, and then because we won the division, so yeah, we beat the Giants. And then I forget the second team we beat, and then Minnesota. Second team we beat was Minnesota in Minnesota, and then we go to Arizona and lose to Larry Fitzgerald, but. Before that, Brian Dawkins had never won a championship at any level, high school, college, or NFL. So there was a video that came out called "Do It for Dawkins" because he was remember the speech he gave before Minnesota where he was like, "Do you feel that? Do you feel that thing beating in your doggone chest?" You know what I'm saying? So like it was with that, it was like all that other stuff, dude. It was so good. I probably watched it a million times. But either way, but yeah.
Do It for Dawkins.
Yeah. So yeah, all that spurred from you asked about what phone you had. So there you go. Very good. Next question. What movie do you think is better, Dave? The Godfather Part 1 or The Godfather Part 2?
Ooh, it's tough. I'm gonna go with. I'll go with one. It lays the premise.
Wow. Wow.
Correct.
Wow, Dave. Wow. I mean, if my heart wasn't broken before, it is now. Next question, and this is a new one, but I'd love to get your take. Justin, I would love to get your take as well. Dave, HBO, you know it, you love it, you ever heard of it?
Yes,
Okay, and you've watched it, I assume?
often.
Right. Do you have a favorite HBO series or show?
Ooh,
Right.
yes, I do.
What are you going with?
I'll go with The Wire for 200, Bob.
Ooh, I thought I was gonna hear The Wire, babe. Some Stringer Bell, Omar, dude.
Yes.
The Wire's a hitter, dude.
The Wire.
Justin and I did an episode that we never released. It was called a top 5 episode, yet to be released. And in that episode, we did the top five HBO series of all time, right? And we're thinking
nuts. Yeah,
dude.
I was like, I'm gonna have a hard time coming up with 5. I was like, every time you kept giving an answer, I was like, oh yeah.
Dude, I remember I did my top 5, and I was like, he said one, and I was like, oh, I cannot leave that out of there.
Right.
How's this not in the top 5? But yeah, no, it's Wire for sure is a staple. Absolute staple.
And what's the Empire? What was it? It was the one with it was the old one on Atlantic City.
Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, Boardwalk Empire. That was
a great
that gets
one.
honorable mention.
I love that Perry Mason.
That was really good.
Perry
took me a while to get. Go
ahead, Dave. No, go ahead, Dave.
No, it took me a while to grow up. It's one of those things you hear everybody talking about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Well, let me check out a few episodes," and I was hooked.
I'm like a
Did
sucker
Perry Mason
for that.
have a second season?
Yeah, there is a second season. I'm a sucker for I watched Chinatown not too long ago,
Okay.
and I was talking to my little brother. I was like, I like Perry Mason. I like Chinatown. It's like I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It takes place in that 1930s, big hat, dumb trench.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for it.
That gritty cop drama. Yeah.
You smoke cigarettes.
Detective.
You drive an old military bike. It's fun.
Dude, I'll tell you. I mean, the Perry Mason, the first season, I was really into until they got to spoilers, but until Lithgow died. Then I really feel like it kind of.
Are you kidding me?
That's the whole show.
He died?
Sorry, Dave.
No, Grandpa. The grandpa would act like he didn't hear
that. Yeah. I was just like, I mean, I just feel like it kind of went downhill after that. Before that, it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Check that one out.
Kind of fell off the rails. But either way, no, Perry Mason's a really good show. I love that kind of sleuth, I guess you could call it, like a sleuth drama. Right?
Good old Sherlock Holmes, little detective.
Yeah, good detective. Little Sherlock Holmes. Justin, what is your favorite HBO show?
My favorite HBO show.
And you have to pick.
I'm gonna go with Curb off the top of my head.
Good show.
Curb so much. It makes me
Curb Enthusiasm.
Yeah. Because I watched Seinfeld. I was a Seinfeld watcher at dinner time. It was back in the day when we were kids on Fox on regular TV. There was Simpsons and then Seinfeld right after. So I never watched all the Seinfelds, and I've been doing it now later in life. Yeah. We at dinner every night we'd sit on trays and watch Seinfeld, and then I watched Curb, and I was like, "This is exactly what Seinfeld is, but with curse words." And that's all.
Right. And my story with Curb is when Netflix came out, I would get the 3 movies, and they would be all Curbs. I would copy them, send them back, and I could always have a library of Curb. I know I'm going to jail, but I just had to share that.
Dude,
Dude, my buddy used to do the same. Back when they would send you discs, they had DVD-R and DVD VRs. They also, Xbox games were on the same kind of disc. So I had a buddy who was on GameFly, same concept. They would send you a game every week and you mailed it back, and you could copy video games, you could copy DVDs.
Whoa.
You would go over his house and he had a full, remember the old CD binders?
Yeah.
Xbox games and DVDs. And I was like,
the good old days.
Awesome.
Now I don't even play games, but I think they just sell them to you on the cloud now. Is that correct?
Both of the newest systems come without district if you want.
Yeah. So I remember buying my son one of those games, and I'm like, I'm looking through the box, just tearing it apart. Like, oh, excuse me, I didn't get the game. And they're like, it's a little, I don't know, it was a QR code. It was a little deal in there where he had to do some stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, your son
I'm
figured
from
it
the-
out instantly, and you're like,
Yeah.
"What is going on here? I'm at the break this thing."
Yeah, it's a piece
He's
of
like,
paper. This
"Chill
is
out,
not
you
$60.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I mean, then I'm gonna have to upgrade systems eventually when the next Red Dead Redemption comes out. But other than that, that's really all I play. But either way, very good. Let's keep it moving on. Keep it on moving on down the road. Oh, my favorite HBO show, since you guys were so interested, is
Yes.
Band of Brothers. So there you go.
Oh,
Classic, right? Dude,
that's
classic.
war. That's war, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, but it's like, think about it, dude. If I said a top 5, it's like Band of Brothers is up there. The Wire's obviously up there. Game of Thrones is way up there.
I don't
And
even
you
know
think,
I didn't say that one. That one by far is probably one of the greater shows that have ever been made.
yeah, legit, dude. But do you remember Rome, the show Rome on
Oh yeah,
HBO?
yeah. Did it
Dude,
come up like a
That was
documentary?
on HBO. Pretty sure
yeah,
that wasn't on
Rome,
Showtime.
1000% on HBO. That
HBO.
show broke the record for shows at the time as far as like the budget for like major battle scenes and things like that. Rome broke all the records, and then HBO was
Really?
like, "Hey, hold my dick real quick. I'm gonna be breaking a lot of records."
You
But
know
dude,
what? Another show that broke records. I don't know if you guys ever saw this. Get Out. Not Get Out. Get
Yeah.
Out. It's called Get. It's a dancing show, man. It went back to the '80s with New Yorkers, hip hop, Grand Max and Flash. How that whole era was. What is the name?
Oh, dude. Wasn't Will Smith's son in it?
He
Jaden
was.
Smith. Dude, I know
Jaden Smith
exactly
was in
what you're
that.
talking about.
They broke the
God.
budget on that one too. That was one of the shows they actually had to stop because of the budget. So when you said that, kind of made that connection.
Yeah, because I remember the one dude, like, he was a DJ and it was the power of the crayon. Yeah,
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
I forget that. Yeah,
That was a
gosh.
good show.
That was a really good show.
Yeah.
Because it's
Even
about,
before
like, young
Netflix,
kids.
HBO was killing it.
Oh, dude. I mean, HBO still does well, but they're more like, I feel like it's more content or like quality over quantity, right?
Yeah.
Because like Netflix is throwing out, they're like, look, we just need content. Give us anybody thinking of anything, let's go. Bosh,
Yeah,
bosh,
let's
bosh.
go with it. Yeah.
Right. Like they're just like nonstop. Whereas like HBO is like, no, we're gonna take time and we're gonna make House of Dragon. And because if you think about it, the two biggest shows, last year, it was House of Dragon and then the video game show that they did. What's it called? Oh my God.
Mortal Kombat? No, not Mortal Kombat.
No. The Last Stand, maybe.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm talking about? The one with Pedro Pascal and Jenna or something Ramsey. Dude, it was HBO's biggest hit last year. Last of Us. The Last of Us.
Last of Us,
is what it's called. Yeah, which was a massive hit. So
yeah, HBO is like a two-parent home corporate dinner type deal where Netflix caters to everybody. Like you got somebody on heroin, you got somebody helping somebody get off heroin, you got somebody that never used heroin. So it's like everybody just comes to Thanksgiving dinner and everybody gets something from Netflix. Yeah, almost like my dinner table.
Yeah. They're like, look, I'm gonna get some salmon spring rolls, but then I'm also gonna get shot up on fentanyl. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's Netflix, baby. Yeah, I'm gonna get Tiger King, but also I'm gonna get The Crown. What are we even doing here? What are we doing here? But that's the name of the game. So let's keep it moving then. Dave, Cheetos, crunchy or puff?
Ooh, that's a toughie, man.
Sure is. We asked the hard-hitting questions here, babe.
I'm going a little crunchy, man.
Sure are. You sure are. You want to know why? Because you're not a jerk. You're a good dude, and I love you. Next, pancakes, waffles, or French toast?
French toast, man. You never had my French toast?
Wow. Have
You
I
had to
had
have
French toast?
I think I did. I brought it to work one. I mean, yeah, I brought it to the office.
I think I missed. I don't know. I've missed some of
I
your.
think you might have
one of
missed
your
that
catering
one.
days. Yeah.
Did I do?
But-
I'm not sure. I think I did it. Yeah, I did it. I think you missed that one. French
Dude,
toast,
I'll tell
man.
Counts as a win for me. French toast.
Do you do brioche French toast?
That's what it was. Brioche. Is it another way?
No, I mean, not that I want to know of.
Yeah.
We actually, a former guest of the show, friend of the show, Brian Madden, he swears that whenever he has a lady friend stay the night, The next day, he says his go-to meal they'll make them before they leave is garlic bread French toast, right? Dude,
Man.
or garlic French toast, maybe. I don't know if it's garlic bread, but garlic French toast. And I was like, what do you put on it? Like marinara sauce and whatever? He's like, oh no, you eat it with syrup and butter still. And I was like,
Really?
what? Yeah, he's like,
Garlic
dude,
bread,
he
French
was
toast.
he's like, do not knock it. He's like, it is a hitter chicken dinner. He's like,
Yeah,
it's
you got to make it when they're
incredible.
leaving because garlic at the breakfast
Yeah.
is going to stink bad. So,
Yeah, yeah,
Been
you
around a
better
while.
you better already got that morning gimmick out the way.
yeah.
Yeah, my old move was the one-eyed Jack. That was my move.
One-eyed Jack.
Egg in a hole.
Yeah. And we talked about it where it's Dave, just so you know, because you're a great chef, I should pass this along to
Culinary.
you.
Thank you.
Right, your culinary expertise. But the one-eyed Jack is when you get a piece of bread, right? Then you heat up a saucepan on medium heat, right? You butter both sides of said bread. Then you place that bread face down, right? Then you take a cup and you cut out a circle in the bread with the cup. You put that little piece on the side of the pan and crisp it up nice. You're going to crisp it up nice.
Gotcha.
Then you get one egg and you crack the egg in the circle you just made in the bread. And
Gotcha.
then flippity-dippity, flippity-doo, you got yourself a one-eyed Jack.
One-eyed Jack.
I'm
Now,
telling you, baby.
so
That
what
one,
movie was that from when he made that meal? It was Vendetta, wasn't it? Wasn't that one of his meals that he made?
dude, I
Is that
think
what he
you're
makes in
right.
here? Vendetta. He makes a little.
Dude,
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think he makes a one-eyed Jack.
That was his signature meal.
Man, they stole that from me. Can you believe
They
that?
did, and
I
I'm
mean,
gonna get you some royalties on that one.
Yeah, Natalie Portman must have told him after she slept over my place. You know what I mean? Hey, Princess Amidala, how you doing? Either way, let's keep it on moving
Did she
on.
sleep
Keep it
over your
on.
place first?
Yeah, for sure. It was a whole Black Swan situation, if you know.
Yeah.
I just watched that first time.
Never seen it. Only have ever seen a clip of the scene on YubTub. I'll tell you, Mila Kunis was kind of waiting in the wings, we'll say. When that movie came out, her stock went up big time, baby. She went to the top of the charts for a lot of people after that one. Shout out Mila Kunis, fan of the show, listen to the show. Let's keep it moving, though. We got to get through these disputed questions. Next question, and this is probably the most important question. Actually, it's not. Chevy Chaser Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
There you go. Very good. Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle, hands down.
Woo! He's a Murray and a Chappelle. Very good. Okay. Then now this is the most important question you'll ever be asked. When it comes to eating wings, are you drums? Or are you flat?
I'm drums, baby, all day long.
Drums, baby.
I'll mess with some flats, but I really want some drums.
Right.
It's easy
My
to cook
choice.
flats, though.
Yeah. Sure. I mean,
And they
for you,
taste
it's
better.
probably easy to cook anything because you're a great chef. But yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate your kind words.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. But either way, let's keep it moving on. Keep it on moving down the road. So, like we mentioned at the top of the show, Dave here is the owner, proprietor, operator, and manufacturer of Big Dave's Catering. We'll have a link in the description of this episode where you can find all Big Dave's Catering. You can put some orders in. You can take a look at his socials. You can do everything like that because I'll tell you, that's one thing. Dave is, I mean, this should be a XXX rated podcast just because all the food porn Dave is putting out there. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, really, really good stuff. Big fan of Big Dave's Catering. Me and Dave, we met working at an office, and we will not name the office, but working there, and every once in a while, the office will provide lunch for the employees, and everybody's favorite day, I'm telling you, line out the door waiting for this is when we got Big Dave's Catering. It's always the biggest hit. People be fighting for leftovers. It's wild, though. Wild, though. So either way, Dave, I want to talk about Big Dave's Catering. So what was the inspiration for Big Dave's Catering? And, when did you know you're an amazing chef?
Thanks, man. I appreciate the support, man. Appreciate the kind words. As always, I make the food for the people, and if the people like it, that means I can keep making it because they're paying the bill. It's funny, over the pandemic, I've always cooked, right? I always cooked, always gave food away. big parties at the house, 80 people, and above and below. So we go small, big, but we always have parties at the house, always giving food away. During the pandemic, my cousin was getting married, and at that time he couldn't find a venue, right? He could get married, but there was nowhere to have the reception. So I told him, hey man, I'll do the food and everything for you. Don't worry about it. Did the food, and you'll see some of the pictures on my Instagram page if you venture over there. Big underscore Dave's Catering on IG.
We'll have a link in the description of the episode for anyone who wants to take a look.
Thanks. So I put something together for him, man. It was great, man. It was great. It was about 75 people. And I got 3 gigs from that, man. I got 3 gigs from that. People saw the display, saw the work, and they said, hey man, I want you to do the same thing for me. And from that day on, man, it was just it's just taking off on a whole nother level. If you ever heard anybody say they got too big too fast, definitely on that trajectory. So yeah, it's just good food that I love to make. I love to get the good response, good, bad, or indifferent. But that's where it all started from. Grew up, 7 aunts. 7 aunts. Do you say aunts or aunt?
What do I say? I think I say aunt. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 aunts. And and out of the 7 aunts, 7 of the aunts, well, maybe out of the 7 aunts, about 5 of the aunts could really cook. And just gravitated to, what they did, how they did it, and just took it to another level and, just delved into it, man. Being a foodie helps, but yeah.
Yeah. So when did you start cooking? Like, I remember when I was a kid, my mom, her rule was like, if I'm cooking, don't come in my damn kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm younger, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you're just in the way, and you're always like, Mom, I want to look, or I want to, put your finger in something. You know what I mean? Like, that whole gimmick. But then eventually it's like you're watching and you're learning, and then like, you're living on your own, so you got to learn to cook for yourself and all
I
that
learned
stuff.
to cook. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you learn to cook?
So I had this aunt, right? And I'm sitting in the living room. I remember the day like it was yesterday, man. This was over, I'm a kid. I'm talking about a little boy. And she's making me oatmeal. And I'm like, oatmeal. So I see her put the oatmeal together. She uses vanilla extract, butter, cinnamon, brown sugar, raisins. When I say this oatmeal was the most amazing thing I ever tasted in my life, wasn't the healthiest thing as I got older, but they would just take the little ingredients they had and would make magnificent meals. They would make fried chicken that, you just couldn't get in the store. Like, it was just amazing. So I grew up, they were from down south. So they brought that down south cooking up north. And it was just an amazing experience to taste these different flavors. And no dig on my dad at all. He's not a cook. So for the life of me, I watched all these women cook, and I was like, I don't want to depend on people to have to cook for me. So because I didn't want to have to depend on people to cook for me, like you say, you live by yourself, sometimes you got to cook. I just started to learn what they were doing and piece up things that I like. And I have this gift that I have where I can taste something and mimic it, right? Or make it better than what I tasted. And I don't eat seafood, so I know one of your favorites are my salmon cheesesteak egg rolls. But my fiance, she showed me the recipe. She showed me what's supposed to go in it. I took it, tweaked it, made it my own, looked at responses. And you can just look at the responses and tell what's going to work, what's not going to work. And that was one of the things that worked.
Yeah. You're still, you've had the catering. I mean, it's been a few years that you've been doing this, but you've really, I'll tell you, like it has grown fast. Like, and a lot of it's word of mouth. I'll tell you, the best advertising you can get is word of mouth, right? Like, you can put stuff all over the internet. You can put stuff, wherever. Word of mouth is the way to go, man. When you got people saying, "Oh, this is delicious," or "This is so good," whatever, like that's when you know, like, okay, this is a hitter. So for you, man, that's great, dude. I love hearing that, and I love seeing, the growth and stuff like that. But when you're coming up, right? Like for me, I'm Italian. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of my culinary influences or like things like that are really Italian based. Like even when I was like one of my first jobs I was like a busboy and a dishwasher at an Italian restaurant. You know what I mean? Like so like you pick up little things here and there. What kind of cultural influences did you have as far as like food? Because I know you said like you had a little southern touch, but I've seen you do
Yeah,
stuff with like jerk seasoning as well, which
yeah,
hits to like a Jamaican Caribbean touch. And then
yeah,
also like I've seen you go Mexican as well as continental with your
yeah,
dishes. So what
yeah.
are we looking at, man? What are some of the influence or what are some of the I guess say you know, inspirations behind your dishes?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good that you asked that. And the thing with me is I came on late with the Southern cooking because it
Mm,
was just the market for it was just, it was already there. People have
yeah.
done it and done it again. So that never really, captured me. So I learned that on the late side. So what
Yeah.
got me was I would go to and it was a few restaurants that I would like to go to. And, like you said, Mexican, Chinese,
Yeah.
Italian. And like I mentioned before, my gift was what? Mimicking what I
Mm,
tasted. So it was easy to, and with everything so moving so fast now, right? And so many things opening up, and people like literally hone in on, like, you might go to a spot that just serves egg rolls or a spot that just serves ramen noodle. Before it
mm,
was like nobody wanted to take a chance and be a one pony show, right?
yeah.
Now you have these restaurants be like, hey, this is all we serve. You get burgers, you get hot dogs, whether it's a restaurant or just a fast food joint, and they stick to their niches.
Yeah.
I try to, because I cater and you cater to so many people and you want to keep it interesting, I try to touch on a little bit of everything so that I can always meet somebody somewhere. So the more I can do, the more I can give you, it works better for me. Because I had a friend ask me, he said, well, did you come up with something new when I first started? And I thought I had the best menu ever. I was like, I can stop here. And he was like, well, do you have anything new? And that hit me. I was like, wait, I got to keep this thing,
Mm,
moving, man. And
yeah.
like just this year, I came out with soups. I did a chicken
Yeah.
corn chowder, I did a
Love a good
um,
soup.
chili. So it
Yeah.
was like I didn't want to sit in the pocket. Now I realized it's the soup time. So now I need to show the display, the various soups, chicken,
Yeah.
noodle soup. You can go with the basic, but you add your own flair
Mm,
to it, a vegetable soup or something like that.
yeah.
So it's the evolution is constant. You know what I mean? You're constantly evolving to
Mm.
what the people want. Like a couple years ago, I didn't do brunches. Then I added brunches, and that just took off. Where I'm dropping off at
Oh,
7 in the morning and then heading to work at 8. So yeah, so
dude,
it's
that's
just been
huge.
amazing. It's been an amazing road. Still learning, still
Yeah.
changing the various parts of the menu, but just coming up, man, I saw a lot of people do things, and then I saw a lot of people die young.
Damn.
I know it gets a little gray, right? So some of the ingredients they use wasn't the best. So I try to find a happy medium where I can give healthy food, where it's fun food. So my food is more like a cheat day. A
Yeah.
cheat day. Yeah, it's not something you want to eat all the time. And there's no dig on me, but I mean, from a health standpoint, it's like I know it's nothing I can eat all the time, but it's one of those nice cheat day
I
meals.
that's not to say you wouldn't be able to do that though. Like
Yeah,
I think that you would have the ability if you wanted to go like, hey, let's do all healthy gluten-free
yeah,
nonsense.
yeah.
But when you're catering a baby shower or
Right,
something like
right.
that, like they're
It,
coming out, they want the chicken and waffles. They want
yeah,
the shrimp
yeah,
and
yeah,
grits. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that, like, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't want to go to the Rolling Stones and have them not play Satisfaction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know, come on.
yeah.
So
No,
no, you're dude, it takes a lot of courage for you to be able to expand on like what you're saying, right? You're saying there
right,
is tons of those places that like, oh, I hit it big on a burger. This is my life now. It's
right,
burgers
right,
from here
right,
on
right,
out, right? Which good on them. Hey man, everyone's got to make a buck. Not knocking how you do it, but
right.
it does take a lot of courage to be like, okay, I hit with this, and instead of consistently just relying on my laurels here, I'm gonna
Yeah,
put out some other stuff that I think is good, right? And
right.
if it hits, it hits. If not, we'll go back to the drawing board. In that light, have you ever had a hitter that you're like, damn, I didn't think this was going to hit like it did? And have you ever had a swing and a miss?
This
Like,
is the
you ever
thing,
had,
right? This is
go ahead.
that's an
Yeah.
excellent question, right? The way I cook, it's the weirdest thing, man. I'm always nervous. I'm always skeptic. I'm the biggest critic, right? I'm
Yeah.
big on responses, so I never think what I'm making is going to be a hit. I'm always like just pushing it out there, waiting for a
Yeah.
response.
Yeah.
I never had one that I missed on. If that's what you
Okay.
ordered, I make it to spec,
Yeah.
and I do that.
And you put your
If I
Big
had
Dave
a miss,
flair on it.
I had one lady, she said the pasta salad was too saucy for her like.
Okay, sure.
I gave her money back, but it was an empty bowl.
Right. Right. So someone must have liked it.
Somebody liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a pool party situation. She ordered the pasta salad.
Yeah.
It was an empty bowl, and she was just saying, because when I approach people, I say, "Hey, man, I want good feedback and bad." So it was something that wasn't right, let me know. And so I think her digging deeper was, yeah, I think the pasta salad was a little saucy, but she did say for her liking.
Right. Right.
And I did give
She
her
didn't
some
say that
back,
the rest
so,
of the party devoured it, but
yeah.
yeah, she
So
left that out of there.
well, I'm looking at the bowl empty, so I'm just listening to her feedback. We
Yeah.
went back into the lab, realized, okay, because I gotta listen to it, so
Right, right. No, dude, I'm with you. Yeah.
yeah. So that
Yeah. No, keep going, Dave.
no. My misses, I'll be honest with you, or if I come up late, if I show up late, to me, that's worse than messing up a meal.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I want to be on time. I want the food to be hot. I want everything to. It's not so much the cooking part. I got that part. I've mastered that part. The side that I need to master now is showing up on time. I got probably a 95% on time rate. It's that 5% that just eats me up, man. And you constantly want to do better. But
plus too, like the thing that sucks is it's not like if there's a derogatory, you would want it. I think you would want it to be about like, well, the food was good, it just wasn't our liking. You wouldn't want to be like, the food was great, motherfucker was 10 minutes late. You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree. I agree with that because that's more on like that has nothing to do with your cooking ability. That has to do with like your business and work skills. Like that stuff. Yeah. Dude,
and it's funny when I'm late and they taste the food, it's like all's forgiven.
Yeah. They're just hungry. They're getting hangry is what it is. They're hangry waiting for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you though, like the one thing you're talking about where it's like listening to the feedback, dude, one thing I had to learn with this show, and I've said it before, and I think when we had the author MP Kid on, really good episode, available now on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Work Perspectives Podcast. But either way, when we had him on, we had talked about like criticism, especially when it's doing something in a way, man, you're creating, it's not content, but you're creating art. Right, like, and you are creating content because you're putting out food porn. But I'm saying, like, you're culinary. It's a culinary artwork, especially because you're being creative. You're going off book. You're doing like what you like, a touch here, a dash here, whatever. Right. So when you're getting feedback, man, it is, to me, it's tough sometimes.
Right, it is.
There's people that like you ask for feedback and they just automatically think they have to find something. Right.
Right.
If there ain't nothing to find, don't try and make some shit up. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a real critique, I'd love to hear it. But if you're trying to make shit up because I gave you an avenue, go yourself. So there's times where it's like I've had to reassure myself a lot of the saying is don't be mad where a good idea comes from. You know what I mean? So like, I might not like the person who said it. Most of the time I don't. I don't like you, right? But you can't be mad where a good idea comes from. You know what I mean? Plus, too, I'm constantly reminded, especially with this show, is that I do not know what funny is. I think I know, but then it turns out something I think is going to be funny is nothing. So, yeah.
And I've been funny for years, man. But you know who laughed at me first?
Who?
Me. It was contagious.
Love it. No, you are funny. Okay, so let's keep it moving, though, Dave. Like I said, in the description of this episode, we're going to have a link to your Instagram. We're going to have a link to your website. We're going to have a link to all your social media, everything where you can find Big Dave's Catering. I highly suggest people, if you're looking for catering, the prices are good. Like, for what you get, the amount of food you get, the quality of food you get, it will be on time, right? Like, all of that, you know what I mean? Like for
Yeah.
the price, it is worth it. People are gonna be coming up to you be like, "Damn, where'd you get this food?" You know what I mean? Like that's worth it in my book. That's worth every damn penny. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and it's really good, and you get a great portion, and the food is delicious. So, for anyone like I know for me, I'm big on if because we have to host a lot for holidays and stuff at my house. So I'm big on like I'm not cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
we're hosting. I'll get catering or something like that. It's just like, dude, we've done it before where it's like the cooking, it's too much. Where it's you get it catered, you put it out, bada bing, bada boom, Betty boop, you're good to go. You know what I mean? And it's a hitter. Every time it's a hitter. So either way, like we said, description of this episode, everywhere you can find Dave's stuff. Highly recommend checking out. But I want to get a little background on Big Dave from Big Dave's Catering, aka Dave Parr, aka Parr Dizzle, aka DP215, aka D Parr Z, aka Parr City of. Let's keep it moving. All right. So, Dave, where were you born and where'd you grow up? Where'd you
I
grow up?
I was fortunate enough to be born in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, where our murder rate is actually down 23%. So,
Is it really?
yeah,
Damn,
yes,
look at
indeed.
us.
Well, so
Look at us.
23 days into the year.
you
And I love the positivity, but
can thank the snowstorm. Thank the snowstorm.
yeah, so far we've had 2 snowstorms holding us down.
Yeah. Two
Oh, man.
snowstorms. The city's handicapped. Nobody can move.
Yeah,
Man.
wait till it gets warm out.
Yeah, we'll take a
Oh,
win.
they
We'll
gotta
take a
make up
win.
for that real quick. That's why I was so high last year because we didn't get any snow.
Yeah.
Damn, you
Last
would
2
have got
years.
January off.
Too many moving pieces, man. Too many moving pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in North Philly, man. Well, grew up a little in West Philly, a little bit in North Philly. Ended it all in Logan. And yeah.
Logan
So I
Square?
lived all since again.
You said you were in Logan Square?
No, not Logan Square. Logan is man,
Like,
it's
like West Oak Lane.
like
Oh, all
on the
right.
borders of West Oak Lane. Yeah, up
Yeah.
there, not too
Close to
far from.
Cheltenham, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Cheltenham is rock throw down the road.
Where I hung out. Remember where you remember where Enes lived?
Enes, no.
The former
Enes?
rapper. He was on what was that Puff Daddy's Making the Band? He lived right off Cheltenham Ave.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Small world.
Was he on the same?
Former NBA player. He lives right off of what was it, like 5th in Cheltenham?
Who's this?
Was
Flip Murray. He played for the Pistons and the Seattle Supersonics.
Wow.
I used to buy weed off his brother.
Oh, no
Oh
kidding.
man. Look at
You-
that.
Hold on. Can we ask Dave? I mean, you might have better insight on this than Justin and I, but Justin, possibility that were you just buying weed off of African American gentleman that just said their brother was
No,
in
no.
the NBA?
No, I met him. He was wearing his brother's jersey. He's like, you know who that is? I was like, no. And he's like, that's my brother. He's in the NBA. I was like, no way. His name was Blade.
Did you fact check?
I mean, he has a podcast now, Flip Murray, actually.
Oh wow, look
Shout
at that.
out. Fan of the show, listener of the show. Love it. All right, very good. So you're growing up kind of West Oak Lane towards Cheltenham, Logan area.
Let's be clear. It wasn't West Oak Lane, it was Logan.
Logan. It is
Logan. Okay. You're
Can't
growing
make
up in
little
Logan.
mistakes like that in Philly, man.
Very true. Let's keep it on moving on, keep it on moving down the road. So you're growing up in Logan, hanging out, having fun. What were some like activities you did coming up? Did you do any like musical things? Did you play any sports? Like what we got?
Yeah, music was a big thing for my family. My brother taught himself how to play the piano. My dad was more or less I'll say an opera singer, right? He loved opera growing up, man. So definitely the arts. Sports was cool. Played basketball, football. Yeah.
Was your dad a big guy too, Dave? Is he a big guy?
He is not in height, in girth, in width.
Okay.
How old were you when you got taller than him?
Ooh, so I'll be honest. I was when I was 12, I was 6 feet. So yeah, definitely taller than him at 12.
Well, Dave, what are you, like 6'4", 6'5"?
6'5".
Matt,
6'5".
I don't like to say the half because it just sounds cocky.
No,
At that
say it
point-
because I'm 5'11", and I'm 5'11". Everybody knows it. It's been verified. Old Uncle Matty, call me just Old Uncle 5'11". You know what I'm saying? There's a skyscraper over here. But either way,
Matt, were you taller than your dad?
yeah, it was, yeah.
Do you remember when you got taller than your dad?
Man, I went a long time without seeing him, so
So you just showed up one day and you were like, "Yeah,
Look
what's
down
up,
on him.
dog?"
You look
Yeah,
down on him like I haven't seen you in a while.
I saw him. We were about the same height. He was going blind. Then the next time I saw him, I was taller than him, and he was.
But he
fully
didn't
blind.
see you. Be
Yeah.
taller than him.
So he didn't
He
believe.
didn't believe
I was
you.
like, Dad, I'm way up here. He's
You're
like,
on your
"I don't
tippy
believe it."
toes.
Yeah, yeah.
Thought
He's
it. I
like,
didn't want to say
"Bullshit."
it, but I'm glad you said it.
My dad.
Yeah.
So my adopted dad, but like he did at the time.
Just for clarification, Justin never met his real dad.
Yeah,
Let's
I have
keep it
so
moving,
many
Justin.
dads. But when I got taller than him, he great basketball shooter. I got taller than him. We would always play basketball in the driveway, and he's like, "You're doing all that jumping around, Lavelle." I was like, "Yeah, I'm now 6'1", and you're 5'10". You no longer can beat me in basketball because even though you can shoot better than me, I'm taller than you.
Right. And I can swat some of those shots.
And that's when I became taller than him, and we stopped playing basketball.
Yeah. I played basketball this morning.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta get on that.
Yep.
3
it's a
full
blast.
court?
Yeah. Your boy,
Wow.
dude, I'm telling you, your boy shot the lights out first couple games.
Really?
I think I had 5-2. We were playing to 16, ones and twos to 16, and I had 8 points the first game. I had 4 2-pointer. You know what I mean? It would be a 3-pointer, but 2-pointers.
Kind of
whatever.
shooting percentage are we looking at here?
I'd probably say took 8 shots, made
8 for
5
12, 5 for 8,
5 for 8, yeah. In the first, because then we played half court, and that's tough to count.
Shoot 60%.
Yeah. So you know Embiid is what you're saying.
Dude, 70 points last night.
70 points.
Dude,
70.
bro. Dude,
you watch the highlights? 1 3-pointer.
1 3-pointer. How wild is that?
67 points from the field.
I think he was like 23 for 24 from the line or something like that.
Yeah.
He had like
I mean, some college games, that's the whole score.
Yeah, dude.
That's 3 WNBA games.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's like 6 WNBA games combined.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
That's like half of Caitlin Clark's season right there.
Yeah. That's like 15 wheelchair basketball games.
Jesus Christ. So you grew up in a house, like you're playing sports and stuff, and have you always been like, I was always a big kid. Were you always a big kid coming up, Big Dave?
I was tall Dave. I had no presence. I was a skinny dude. I was like I was 6'4", 185.
All right.
So
you were
no
the
presence
iron
at all.
bean.
Yeah, string bean, walked and pushed around a lot.
Dude, that's tough though. When you're at that age, you're growing into your body and things like that. And your dad's an opera singer. Were you getting picked on a little bit?
Right. Say it again.
Were you getting picked on a little bit or no?
No,
you're
no.
Gangly.
Still,
yeah,
like
you're funny.
Yeah. Well, and the same thing is like we were all skinny at that age.
Oh, true.
So it was like nobody really had that type of presence.
Yeah. No one's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm ganglier than you are."
Yeah, Big Meats didn't live around me, so it was perfect.
Yeah. So you're growing up, everything's going good, and then you would go to or where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school, Edison. I went to Dawkins and Edison, inner city. One's at 22nd and Lehigh. The other one was at 8th and Lehigh. Then they moved to Front and Luzerne. They had a new building, $50 million complex built for us. I was the first to graduate from there in '89.
Nice.
So it was cool, right
Edison?
across from a cemetery. So you could imagine a teacher's speech if you wanted to act up. So, right across the street, there's a cemetery. You'll end up there.
Yeah, I know where to put the bodies. Duh. Yeah. Nice. How was it go? I mean, what was the school like? Because there's been like, because I'll tell you, when we were living in the Northeast, and my daughter was in daycares and stuff, but I told my wife, I was like, look, we can stay here for a little bit, but we're leaving before she's of age to go to public school because I'm not having it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's like, don't get it twisted. There's some hidden gems in the Philadelphia public school system, but there's a lot of stinkers. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a hidden gem. I didn't go to any hidden. I didn't go to any hidden. There was a gem in there,
Edison wasn't no hidden gem.
It wasn't a hidden gem, man. But some great people came out of Edison. Some great people came out of Dobbins. You talk to a lot of older Black people in the Philadelphia area. They came out of Dobbins because Dobbins was a vocational school. So you kind of learned a trade. You learned cosmetology, nursing, auto mechanic, business, which I was a business major. You learned, you name it. What is it? Architectural. graphics. They had it all, man. And it was a high school that really focused on the trades from the earlier days where Black people really didn't go to college. They more or less took a trade and they just went, and worked right after high school. And, you did your apprentice ship or whatever, and then you just moved into the field. They had electricians, you had it all there. And they had a few of them. It was Mash Bomb, Dobbins, it was a couple other ones that really pushed the vocational deal. And like I said, man, it was a time when I was growing up, a lot of the older people that you would talk to, they were like, yeah, I went to Dobbins. And a lot of them went to work for Bud, and Bud was a machine shop. So this was the catch with Bud, right? Bud, if you ever saw an older dude that was missing his finger, you'd be like, oh, did you work at Bud?
Oh, damn.
He's like, yeah, how'd you know? So they would lose their fingers on the machines, man, because they didn't have ocean air with the safety rules and regulations. So yeah, a lot of them lost fingers and limbs, but they made a lot of money. So because it was piecework.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dobbins pushed out a lot of great people. But yeah, again, it's not a hidden gem.
I worked at a machine shop as a kid, Beamer Precision out in Fort Washington. My dad missing a nub. My little brother, like a dink in his eye from not wearing safety glasses.
Yeah.
The
Little things.
The one dude who worked there got a fork, like a forklift fork through his leg.
Wow.
You know you're not supposed to ride around with the forks up?
Yeah.
He was riding around with the forks up. He was like standing somewhere and they backed into him. And he was a heavy marijuana smoker. And if you got injured and failed the piss test, the insurance would just drop you. You were just F.
Yeah, that's what they do. The first thing they do is take your blood.
They take your blood test right there to test you to see if they can just drop you from the insurance. He got lucky because he got forked through the leg. When the EMT showed up, they morphine. And then when they drug tested him at the hospital,
the morphine came up.
All that came up was morphine.
Wow.
So he's got a limp. He got paid.
Yeah, my kind of story.
Dude, that's
But
wild.
yeah,
that
that's
if you
crazy.
had any illegal narcotics, you'd be dropped.
The other thing is my dad got the nip of his finger clipped off, like just below the nail. And so he has the nub, but the fingernail started trying to grow back.
Really?
So like a unicorn in the middle of his nub, in the middle of his finger, the fingernail started like growing back. And it was so disgusting.
Oh, what did they do? Did they cut the rest of it off?
A circle, you know what I mean? Because like they cut his finger off, so like it tried to start making like a unicorn like fingernail thing.
Oh, that's gross, man.
It's so gross looking.
Yeah,
just let it grow.
I know. Wow. I and that's the other thing is it's like his ring finger. So honestly, like you can't if he went like this, you wouldn't even know. But like he's all self-conscious about it, and I always
yeah.
Did you ever say, "Hey, Stubby"?
I go, where's the rest of you?
Does he get 10% off if he gets his nails done?
All right, so Dave, we're now coming to a time in the show where it's everyone's new favorite segment. Yeah. It's time for JDub's question segment. JDub here is going to ask you some questions, and they're going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have a great time. You're going to give some good answers, and then we're going to be on our merry way. So JDub, take it away,
What kind of gas mileage do you think a limo gets?
I'm going 22 miles to the gallon.
You think it's shit? I saw a limo today for sale, and I was driving by it, and I was like, you know what? It'd be fun and kind of cool if you were just personally driving around in a limo.
Dude, not until you had to park.
That's the only issue is being in the city. It's a nightmare.
Until you had to turn around.
And limos are weird because once they go out, they're out. Like you can't get an old limo. Like at no point can you get an old limo unless it's a Rolls Royce. Right. I mean, that's the only old limo that you can get. Once a limo is reached its age limit, like riding in it, it just does a disservice to wherever you're going.
The Chrysler 300 limo is definitely dead now. But like the old Lincoln Town Car limo, if you pulled up in like a 1996 Lincoln Town Car limo, I'd be like, where are we going?
Morpheus would have to step out.
Dude, I remember no, I'm not gonna say it. So but either way, keep it going, Justin.
We should like you know how when you were in school and you didn't feel good, you just like raise your hand and you're like, can I go to the nurse? And they're like, yeah.
Right.
Why did that stop after school? Like, why isn't that in every office building in every place in America?
You're
like,
why? Nurse?
Yeah, there should be the nurse, and not even just office buildings. Like Walmart should have one. The grocery store should have one. Like, there should be a nurse everywhere. Where you can
I'm fortunate because I live with one. My fiance's a nurse, so I feel you. I think she should be everywhere I go.
Yeah,
everywhere I go.
Like if you're in the office building, you're like, look, I don't feel good. I got a headache. You should be able to go to someone. They'll give you my
Agreed.
Lanta, that like peppermint, like chalky shit. Like you lay it on the table for like 10 minutes and then you go back to
Nope.
work.
I
And they're like,
don't
all right, why don't
disagree.
you just, yeah. I mean, or they can be like, hey, we're gonna call your mom to come pick you up. Like,
Yeah. Dude, that's
I'll
actually,
take it.
now you say that, I'm 38 years old. I randomly the other day, I'm driving for work. I'm driving a big old van. I like wipe my nose to be like, that feels weird because it's all warm. I have been having a nosebleed, massive.
Really?
I wasn't picking my nose. I didn't put any drugs in there. And it's like all over my sweatshirt and it won't stop. I stick like 2-3 tissues up there,
Wow.
not stopping. And I, for a second, don't know what to do because my company doesn't have a nurse. And so I call like a friend of mine. He doesn't answer. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I call my mom. My mom's
I
like,
read a,
hello? And I'm like,
I read a
hey,
magazine, so I'm certified. You have high blood pressure.
do I? Is that what happened? It only
Could
happened
be, man.
once.
Once? Oh, just once?
Just one time out of nowhere, and I wasn't picking my nose. Like I even called my mom and specified that specifically as soon as it started. I was like, I wasn't picking
Justin,
my
if you're
nose.
picking your nose, you can tell us.
I would admit it. I was like, Mom, I wasn't picking my nose. I wasn't doing any drugs. I have a nosebleed. It's not stopping. And like, you know how like it bleeds a lot? I was like getting there. I
Yeah.
was like,
Did you tell your mom you weren't doing any drugs?
yeah, I told my mom, I'm very honest with
All right.
Well, I'm a
Don't
nurse
lie to your
by
mom.
injection. I'm a nurse by injection.
her. That counts. We need nurses in public more. That's all. We have all these what do
I
they
don't
call those
disagree.
places? The not like rapid health.
No, it's called care something. What is it called?
Yeah, they're
Urgent
the worst.
care.
Urgent care. We don't need that.
Urgent
Every
care.
place, Wawa should have a nurse. Subway should have a nurse.
I don't
Your
disagree.
office building should have a nurse.
So when you go to Subway, you notice when you go to Subway, Popeyes, Wawa, it's like that sodium warning that we get now. Yeah.
Like,
It's
hey,
not-
by the way, there's nothing in here that you should eat. I mean, you can come in here and eat, but for the record,
For the
legally,
record.
you should not eat
Legally.
anything in here.
Hey, what's up
For
with
the
Panera
record,
Bread and the
yeah.
lemonade? I was running to work today. They had this like,
Panera.
they had to put the lemonade behind the counter now because apparently somebody's dying.
Well, they
from
had
the,
free refills and somebody went ham.
Yeah,
All it
they
takes is
would've
one
had it.
person to go ham on the lemonade, and now
Dude,
no one can
that's
have
just-
lemonade.
Dude, that's the story of everything. Don't even get me started about our.
It's because we don't have nurses in public anymore.
Nurses, I agree.
We need nurses.
We need
This isn't a
we need to give
question.
nurses more money, man. We need another reason to give them even more money.
Bull, well, here's the thing. So the only issue with that is if you remember, like when I was a kid, when I went to public school, like that lady who I was going to and trusting my life with, who would give me my Lanta, that pepperminty milk
Yeah.
and chalky shit,
My
wasn't
Lanta.
a registered nurse. She wasn't a
She wasn't.
doctor. She was
No, she's just
someone's
someone's
mom who was
Yeah.
bored and at school.
Yeah. So remember I said about the trade, about the vocational, right? So you get nursing degrees back then from high school, I just found out. Like you could have a certified nurse, not a certified nurse, but they were letting them come out of high school or just getting them certificates to be nurses. And that's who was probably giving you the medicine.
I was like, that's just Paul's mom. This isn't a nurse. I remember being in like 3rd or 4th grade, going to the nurse one day because I was a frequent nurser. Loves
Yeah.
getting out of class for the nurse, and the nurse wasn't there, and there was like a substitute nurse. And I was
Wow.
like, the nurse isn't at school today. Shut the school down. Why is any of us here? If the nurse isn't here, why are we here? What do you mean the
Yeah.
nurse is out
How are we
today?
gonna survive? What is
Are you
going
trying
on?
to
This
call
building
Johnny
is gonna
Doctor?
burn to the ground without a
Hey,
nurse.
Johnny, I
in it.
got some good information.
Then I found out it was just some guy's mom, and I'm like, damn it.
Wow. Perpetrating the fraud.
All right. What's the movie you've seen the most?
Casablanca.
5 heartbeats. 5 heartbeats, people.
The 5 Heartbeats, classic. First time I ever watched that movie was in the back of a cab, Germantown Cab Company.
Really?
Yep, I was working as a bartender on the main line, living in Manayunk, did not have a car, would have to get rides or take a cab everywhere.
Wow.
And taking a cab to work on the way, the dude had portable DVD players that he had taped
Really?
to the back of his Crown Vic. His Crown Vic's headrest, he had taped portable DVD players and screens, and he was playing the 5 Heartbeats. And I was like, bro, this movie gets it, baby.
It's
the
fire.
one scene when the old dude cut, like when they're like the the old dude comes in, and the young guy's like, "Man, what's this old dude gonna teach us about dancing?"
Oh
He's
yeah,
like, "You
yeah.
want to see some
I
moves?"
remember that. Didn't he kill it? He
Oh,
killed it.
brought the house down.
And his
He had
little
a
hair was
cane and
moving.
everything. Baby, dude, 5 Heartbeats. I'll tell you, that's a good flick, baby. That's a
Good flick,
good
man.
flick.
Good
Plus, dude, they had
flick.
the first band competition. There was that one like guy,
Oh,
the
yeah.
black guy with the blonde hair. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
It was Reds.
Yee. Man,
My
it
office
was.
hours between 5 and 9. Yeah,
It's
I love the movie, man.
a good one. You ever see Jersey Boys?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's basically the Italian knockoff of the 5 Heartbeats.
Oh man, I'm watching as soon as we get off of this thing, man. You should have told me that, man.
You're gonna love Frankie Valli.
Dude, you're gonna
Oh,
love.
man.
Everybody loves. Hey, America loves a good comeback story. Am I right or am I right?
What's
You're right. You're always right.
True
what's the
that.
last movie that made you cry?
Ooh, Casablanca.
Ooh, man, that was a good one. Man, I can't even. Oh, shuck. You know, at the 52, man, I cry over everything, man.
Same.
I
I just
cry
watched Dumb Money on Netflix, the movie with Paul
Really?
Dano about that GameStop short and how people make money.
Yeah.
I cried like 3 times.
Really?
I was just so hyped
Really?
that he was making money. I was like, yeah, get him.
Oh,
It's
that's
fun.
nice.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, I can't think of the last time I cried over a movie.
I want to see the movie Agent Argyle. I haven't seen it though.
I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
when's it coming out? Is that already?
I wonder if it is. Let me look it up. It's the same guy. Remember the movie The Kingsman?
Yeah, I like the Kingsman.
Dude, the first Kingsman movie was so good.
It
Then
really
the second one was okay.
It's
Then
fun.
they did the throwback one to World War One. That was like got kind of weird when
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing, Rasputin? And then yeah, but then
killed.
yeah, but it's the same dude that did did the Kingsman movies is doing Argyle. So we'll
Wow.
check it out.
What is Argyle? The sweater pattern?
It's just the name of the movie.
Oh,
Yeah, it's starring Dua Lipa, Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, John Cena, Ariana DeBose, Haruko Oshima, and
Wow.
many more.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sophia Boutella, Rob Delaney, Tana Haynes, Catherine O'Hara, Bryan Cranston, Samuel Jackson,
Wow,
Jean
all good names.
Lucy, Ella Arrow. Yeah, a lot of big hitters over here at
Yeah.
Argyle.
I'm waiting for Gladiator 2. That's the epic movie
Dude,
of the year.
someone was talking about that. Like, what is the premise of that
I
gonna
don't
be?
know.
Like,
Yeah, what is the premise? Because
I don't get it. Like, what? How
So-
do you?
You have to remember at the end, if you think about the end when he said who he was, he said Marcus Aurelius, and he gave him and they validated who he was. And then the sister came on, remember? And she said, honor him. And they lifted him up. And when he was deceased, and they lifted him up. There has to be some question about the power chain at this point, because if you're going to honor him and say that,
he was the rightful
Aurelius
heir.
gave him that title, then at some point you got to look at, the structure of power at that point, I guess.
Well, what about the son? Like the one bitch's son.
So that's
Oh,
why I think
yeah.
it's going to come to power, because remember she said, I fear that he's going to die because his lineage is next in line. So this
Yeah.
freak was trying to have, his sister have another kid with him,
Yeah.
even purify the lineage even more.
Dude, I'll tell you, that was honestly the first time I discovered like who Joaquin Phoenix was.
Oh, yeah.
I never, dude, and he stole the show. I think he got best supporting for that role. He was
he's
phenomenal.
amazing. He's probably one of the best actors out there on the market. Like when he did Joker.
Oh, great. It was great. Dude,
Yeah.
Walk the Line. Remember he was
Walk the
Johnny
Line,
Cash
yeah.
in Walk the Line? It was
Yeah,
phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Really good.
He
Yeah.
really goes. What do they say in Tropic Thunder when they say to go full? No, I won't say the word, the full R word.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
He goes full everything.
full R word on like all his. So I remember he was on a talk show once, and he just
On Conan.
he didn't know if he was
Oh,
acting and he was
yeah.
What is that movie? That movie's good. Have you seen that movie? The movie he was
No.
making on that David Letterman appearance?
Yeah, that was crazy. It was good.
Mickey Batts gave me the DVD for that, and I watched it. Before I disappear, I know exactly what you're talking about. He went on this crazy, like David Letterman.
Crazy.
He was gonna become a rapper.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. I watched that.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's good. He gets into
He's
his role.
great.
I was watching Dave Chappelle, and he was saying he always wanted to meet what's the guy? Jim Carrey. And so he meets Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey's on a roll, but he won't come out of the cadence. So nobody can call him Jim, and nobody can call him anything. So he's always wanted to meet Jim, and he's like, I can't even call him Jim, and I can't meet Jim right now because he's golfed in this role. I forget the role he was playing, but it was another
Andy,
comedian that he was playing. Andy. No, I forget what it was. I feel the wheels turning over there, guys.
What,
You guys
Andy
were over the speed.
Kaufman?
Yeah, Andy Kaufman. That's it.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
guys were going over the speed limit with the wheels turning there.
I was.
It's like, I got half.
I was like, damn.
Somebody else
give
say
me,
the other
give me
part.
some of this. Yeah. So, all right, let's keep it moving then. JDub, keep going.
If you're walking to the bar, what's your drink of choice?
Old fashioned.
Nice.
Is that what you're drinking tonight?
Got that right.
How you making your old fashioned? What do you got?
I got the luxury cherries. I got the I didn't have any orange, but somebody had bought me a kit. So I had some dry oranges in there.
Ooh.
Killed it. Put the dry orange in there. Some bullet
bourbon or bullet
bourbon. Yeah. Bullet bourbon is my bourbon of choice. I like
Good
Angel's Envy. One of my favorites, Monkey Shoulder. That's one of my newer ones. Everybody's talking about this Buffalo Trace. I've tasted it. It's pretty good.
That's
But
Joe
yeah,
Rogan's,
my
right?
go-to. What's that?
Joe Rogan loves Buffalo Trace, right?
Yeah.
In the Buffalo
Yeah.
stance. How do you feel about Hamburger Helper?
Ooh, I don't.
Excellent answer. Good.
Never crossed my mind once. What hamburger needs help, man? It just needs cheese, bacon, sauteed onions, a brioche bun.
Could you beat up your 19-year-old self?
All depends how you talk about that beating. No, I love that guy. That guy was amazing. Okay.
Yeah, he's great. Just great.
Now, when I say he was great, man, he done no wrong.
When did you did you have a flat top at any point in your life, Dave?
Yes, indeed.
So 19-year-old you would have had a flat top, maybe?
Yeah, 19 me had the Carl Lewis. I had the Carl Lewis, man.
Hell,
Carl
That's a
Lewis was the
good look,
man.
Daddy.
Bobby
Oh,
Brown
Carl
tried to
Lewis
make
was
it a little crooked, never got onto the Bobby Brown. But no, the Carl Lewis was the man.
Dude, you have Bobby Brown still touring? I was driving down 276 today, saw the billboard for Parks Casino, Bobby Brown, February 11th. I was like, what?
What? In a wheelchair? Or
Somebody go call Whitney out of the grave and tell him to stop.
Yeah. Tell him. Well, he's the king of pop, man.
Carl Lewis or
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown. Yeah.
Bobby Brown.
I'm not gonna do a Cat Williams here, man. I'm not talking about Bobby because I don't want him coming for me. Heard you was talking about me.
Bobby Brown. Dude,
Yeah.
I remember one of the funniest things I ever saw is Chris Rock used to have the Chris Rock show. I believe it was on HBO. And
Yeah.
one of his first episodes of the Chris Rock show, he did like a protest outside of the prison to free Bobby Brown. I was like, yo, this guy.
Dude, that's
gets
another
it.
unmentioned HBO show. The Chris Rock show,
Chris Rock
was,
show was
so
so
good.
Chris
good.
Rock
Like before the
show.
Dave Chappelle show,
So
no
good.
matter what
Chappelle
they
show,
tell
hands
you,
down.
there is no sex in the champagne room. That's from the Chris Rock show.
Oh, bro.
I-
No
I
sex
like,
in the champagne room.
I like Bigsby. Clayton Bigsby was the best kid I
The-
ever saw in my life.
The racist
Like it just changed my
Klansmember?
life
Yeah.
in terms of comedy.
Dude, the one thing people don't realize is the amount of one-liners that came out of the Chappelle show
Yeah.
is unreal. Like, not to mention Clayton Bigsby, right? But like when he did Little John, right?
Oh,
And like
little-
when everyone was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what the five fingers say to the face? Slap! You know what I mean? Yeah. And then when he did what the fuck is the name? Rick James.
Yeah,
when he
Rick
did
James, Ashley, Larry.
when he did all the quotes from from Rick James, and then when Wayne Brady was on,
Oh yeah,
the
and
show,
people make
Wayne
Brady
Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude, come on, so good. That was good. But dude,
Yeah.
he had some really good musical performances on there. I remember
He
one of the
did.
most deaf put on a performance. I was like, I think it was on a
Yeah,
bus.
they were in
It
the
was
car, right?
Phenomenal. Yeah.
In the
was
car, he
something like that.
killed it.
Just
Yeah.
killed it.
He killed it. He killed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
I loved his energy on that show, the freedom that he had when he first started writing. And somewhere along the way, and he talks about that on another show when he goes back to the high school. If you ever go back to, he did a show when he was at the actual high school that he went to in DC. And he's explaining pretty much everything that happens. Like, you get it uncut, uncensored, and it's pretty cool.
Go ahead, Justin.
No, I was gonna say I know what you're talking about. He's in the old Chappelle jumpsuit when he does it.
Yeah.
It's like 2 or 3 specials ago on Netflix if you look it up.
Yeah. Did it.
Nice.
Did it for me.
All right, keep it going, JDub.
David, do you have any questions for me?
I'm glad you asked, man. I do have a question for you, man. Why'd you pick that outfit for the show?
This sweatshirt that you're looking at, I found on my floor. I have a thermal on underneath of it, but I've been sweating a lot. I sweat like a motherfucker all of a sudden.
Really?
Like, I'm talking like pit swings through sweatshirts.
Get
So I got
outta here.
home, I got changed out of work, and then I saw this on the floor, and I just grabbed this.
You're sweating out them.
Now
Dude,
I feel
I've
like
been-
an honored guest.
Sweating like an animal all of a sudden. Like, I stopped
Yeah.
doing drugs. I'm at 39 days clean, but I
Wow.
still sweat like a wildebeest, like through.
Well,
hoodies
you
and
started to
everything.
dream again, and your dick
Dude,
works. Congratulations.
It's all
And you're
chaos.
able to have bowel movements regularly.
I mean, they're
Gotta
yeah, I
love
guess
it.
so. I've went from like, I mean, if we're gonna talk about bowel movements, what I started having like my father's poops, out of nowhere.
Really?
Like, I went from a man who used to take like a 5-minute poop to like that, like, I
Do you
don't
have
know,
to say that word? Do you
I
have to
remember-
say that word?
bowel
You
movement.
know I don't.
want
You
that?
know I don't like that
He
word.
doesn't like poop.
No, I don't.
But like all of a
It's
sudden,
It's the
52.
fucking worst word. Just say shit.
I'm
You gotta
taking
say
like
shit.
19-minute poops in the morning now.
Well, when
fucking
you
cunt.
when you reach 52, you get proud of your poops. You're like, oh man, that was the size of my intestines.
All right, we're throwing around the P word just willy nilly here.
I mean, also we have 2 bathrooms.
Oh, show off.
Oh, whoa! Look at you. You're in a house with 2 fucking bathrooms.
I shit
Whoa.
downstairs.
You got a
Oh,
master bath.
You
You got
lucky
1.5
little-
baths in your fucking house over here. Oh, Dave, get a load of this guy.
not a
Fucking
big
two
Only
deal.
stayed on the
houses to
show
shit
this
in the
long because
same
I'm waiting to get in the
house.
bathroom.
I got a pee toilet and I got a poop toilet.
Oh man, you probably
And you
got a
whack
bidet.
off sink.
And I do have a whack sink.
Oh, unless you're gonna tell us you got a bidet, right?
I wish the only thing
I
is they
have
all
one.
have to be aftermarket. You have one? You got an aftermarket one?
My
No, I don't
wife's
have one at
European,
all.
so we've been had a bidet, son.
Wow.
I kinda want
Installed
that.
it myself, motherfucker.
Is it a full toilet or is
Wow.
it an attachment to your regular toilet?
It's an attachment to the regular toilet.
Yeah, see, I've seen them Jones on
Italian's
Amazon.
money.
I don't want to flex on you guys, but not only do I have a bidet, but I also have a cleaning lady. So
Oh
fuck off.
man, for your butt or just for the house?
No, just for his butt.
Yeah. She comes every other Friday. And her name's
$250
Priscilla,
for an
and
hour.
She does the deed.
She braids his butthole hair.
Oh man.
Like
this is
AI's
getting-
mom at
this
the
is a fucking weird segment right here.
I feel like bidets are for spontaneous sex people, and I'm past that.
Is it spontaneous sex for the man or the woman? I don't get what
Whoever's
woman's
getting
no.
it spontaneously.
who's ever getting spontaneous is using the bidet.
I mean, it's true though.
Bidet.
If I had a bidet, it would save me from numerous showers.
That's my
Got a
point.
good point. I mean, that's just
Right.
economical and water saving, honestly.
Yeah.
Right,
think
right.
about it.
You're
It's like-
you're spending money to save money there.
Yeah, I'm just
you
going in
cook
there,
a
taking the
food-
thing off, blowing it up my butthole. Instead, if I just had it built into the toilet, I'd be saving so much water.
I don't disagree. If
My,
you had a poo,
mm.
you're off this. I'm off the spontaneous sex move if I had a poo.
I'll tell you this story. So one time I pull up to my buddy's house and I have to poop. I'm working. There's no I'm driving around, it's hard to find a
Right.
public bathroom. Yo,
Sure.
I come in his house, I poop. I go, yo, you don't have any toilet paper. He goes, yo, just use the Bodega. I was like,
Whoa,
the what?
the
He's like,
bodega.
just go in my shower and spray your asshole out with my shower head. And this is conversation through the door. It's like 1:15 in the afternoon. Me and my buddy, I'm at his apartment. I'm like, you want me to take off all of my clothes, get in your shower,
question
spray
him as a
my
friend.
asshole out with your shower head,
You're trickling drops in your shower.
use soap and a towel, then put on my same socks, underwear, pants, clothes, and shirt, and go back to work. That's what you think I'm gonna do right now. I'm like, go get me 4 paper towels and hand them to me through the door because you're out of your goddamn mind. Oh,
What
you
is it,
think
equalizer?
that's an insane thing to ask another human to do? Oh, I don't have toilet paper. Just wash your asshole out in my shower.
This is like Pulp Fiction.
No, this happened to me in real life less than 12 months ago. The human being who told me to do this currently now has a child.
I'm sending social services over to him. Social services is on their way.
I'm like, go get
That's
me paper
hilarious.
towels. I was like, go walk down to the pizza shop and go get me napkins. I'm not gonna wash my asshole out in your tub. That's
That was his
insane.
remedy.
Could you
I
imagine
think I
taking
just
off your
lost
underwear,
my mind, guys. I think
showering,
I
and
fucking
then
lost
putting
my
it back
mind.
on?
Oh my god.
That's bad business. It's bad business.
Dude, I could not imagine someone coming
And
to
he
my
doesn't
house.
even know if it's a wet one, a dry one.
Yeah.
He
Like,
didn't care. He was like, go in the shower.
Could have been a phantom one. It might have just been a phantom.
Right. I might not even have needed full shower release.
this is true. This is true.
But I'm not going to take
Yep.
my underwear off, get in the shower, and put the same underwear back on. That's madness.
He's not
Once
having
it's off, it's
spontaneous
gone.
sex.
No, he's
No.
not. He doesn't even have
Take him
toilet
off-
paper in
let's
his
take him
apartment.
off the list.
I hope he doesn't have sex with anybody if that's
Yeah.
what
Well,
he's doing.
obviously
Like,
he
that's
did because he
brutal.
has a child.
He figured
would
it out.
hope.
After that point, I think after I braided him brutally that afternoon, he started buying toilet paper. He
Do-
found a
do-
spouse. Now he's with
Do I
child.
know this guy?
You sure
Justin?
goddamn do. He said, JDub, just use the bodega. I'm like, first off, not called a bodega.
I
Second
know,
off,
right? I'm thinking of a store.
Wait, what
Call it
is
bodega.
the bodega? What is the bodega?
he's trying to say the word bidet, but he doesn't know.
Okay.
He's like, JDub, just use the bodega. And I was like, you don't have a bodega in this bathroom. He's like, yeah, just get in the shower and spray your asshole out with my shower head. It's like,
So make
that's
sure-
not
does
a
he have
thing.
wait on, does he have a detachable shower head?
Yeah, it was detachable.
Okay, so it's the one with the hose and the whole.
Yeah, it's not connected
three
to the
feet.
toilet.
Yeah.
No.
He
That's
wants your butt.
chaos.
He want booty crumbs all in his shower so his wife's getting in there with her nice pedicure toes, I'm certain.
At the time,
Mm.
he was single.
Oh,
He lived like an
good.
animal in an apartment. He now
Thank
has
you,
a house
man.
and a
Thanks for
child.
clearing that up, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But at the
Wow.
time, he was a man who did not have toilet paper and would just let people poop in his bathroom.
I can't believe this
Wow.
dude would get so much pussy too. It's crazy to think.
He's a handsome guy.
He's
Yeah.
so handsome. Yeah.
Only
He
a
is.
handsome man can tell you to get in the shower and put,
Use the
a guy
bodega.
like myself, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, none of us are
I'm like, I'll
telling
be
women.
back. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Use the bodega. Damn, dude. I think I
Wow.
just lost my mind there for a minute. Man. Well,
Sheesh.
we are Justin, I don't care if your segment's over because it's over now. But either way, we're coming towards the top of time. Dude, that all started from him asking, where'd you get your outfit from? And then that's where it ended up. I mean, do you always have to get shit talk on the show?
I
It's
love
called
poop
shit
talk.
talk, JDub shit talk.
I like talking
JDub
poop.
talking shit.
Everybody poops, all right? And everybody
do.
wipes differently, and I find that interesting.
Dude,
Really?
stop.
I'm a
Stop,
Scots man.
Stop. Just stop, you son of a bitch. You fucking son of a bitch.
So I guess the
That's
next thing on my
fucking-
menu is brownie bottom pies.
Jesus Christ. You fucking son of a bitch. What is wrong with us?
The
Something
What is
double
going
dip.
on
happens.
with you?
The double dip brownie bottom pie.
Ugh, golly. All right, we're coming towards the top of time.
It's like upper decking yourself, you know? It's fun.
We're done decking everything. Golly. What the fuck did I just put myself through? This is insanity. I didn't feel like an
This is
insane
what happens when you
person
let me
right
talk
now.
about poop talk every week. We should have this
I
poop
feel-
talk every
I
segment.
literally just
No.
asked you about your shirt.
Dude, I feel like an insane person right now. I literally feel like an insane. This is wild. I mean,
Hilarious.
Dave, glad you're having a great time. But we
Thank
are
you for
coming
having me.
towards we're coming towards the top of time. So like I said, in the description of this episode, there'll be links to Dave's website, to his socials, where you can follow him and follow his stuff. Honestly, it's the best catering around. You're gonna love it. He does a great job. He's on time. He shows up with all you need. He caters to everybody's likes and dislikes. Phenomenal stuff. Highly recommended. Everybody's favorite lunch when we get it at the office. This guy's the best. So like I said, if you're looking for catering, go into the description of this episode. There'll be links for everything. Just click and check it out. and give him a follow as well. And if you're not, subscribed to us, give us a follow as well because we deserve it after that. But
Agreed.
I wanted to keep it going. We are coming towards the top of time. Dave, JDub and I are usually on the same page with this, but we would love to have you back on the show if you'd be willing to come back on.
Oh, definitely, man. Just let me know when I'm there.
Dude, love it,
Great
man.
time,
Thank
man.
you.
Great time.
So, Dave, before we get out of here, is there anything you would like to say to your family, friends, and fans before we take off?
I couldn't do without my fiance. Gotta give her a shout out. Yes, indeedy. You're in there, shout out. And thank you guys for having me on. Thank you guys for promoting the business. As always, we don't make money unless we do business. So please check me out on Instagram, Facebook, my website. Big Dave's Catering is probably the easiest way to get to me. Appreciate you, Matt. Appreciate you guys. And thank you.
And it's big_Dave_catering.
Yep. Dave's with an S. Yep.
big_Dave's_catering. Follow it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I already looked at it. Looks
Dude, I'm telling you, food porn, right?
Yeah. I saw that chicken parm platter. I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
gotta turn this
yeah.
off.
Did you
Otherwise
see,
I won't
did
pay
you see
attention.
the chicken and waffles gimmick he had?
I didn't. I looked at it during the show and I was like, I gotta stop. Otherwise I won't pay attention.
Yeah.
Dude,
Try to
chicken-
cover
dude,
every
that-
culture, man, because you never know who you're catering for.
I saw that chicken parm. I was like, ooh, is that mozzarella and chicken cutlets? Say less.
So, yep. So, JDub, anything you want to say to everyone before we get out of here?
Mozzarella and chicken cutlets. Say less.
Say less. Love it.
Yes.
Very nice. Well, speaking of mozzarella and chicken cutlets, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's JDub Justin Richardson. And our guest today is the one and only Dave Parr. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. And you can join us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe so we keep bringing you the sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. See you.